Hey there. Welcome to CyberPulse by Quantum Shield, the podcast where we make cybersecurity less intimidating and a lot more exciting. Every episode, we're diving into the latest digital drama, from sneaky hackers to the coolest defense strategies, all while sharing tips you can actually use. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's navigate this crazy digital world together.
Okay, so have you ever, been checking your bank account online and suddenly something feels off?
Oh, yeah.
Like you see a transaction you don't remember making, or the login page looks a bit strange.
Totally. You get that pit in your stomach.
Exactly that. Something's not right feeling.
Yeah. That's basically a potential security incident right there.
It is. And while none of us want to deal with that stuff, knowing what to do if it happens can be a lifesaver, or at least a data saver.
Absolutely.
So today we're going deep on incident handling,
We are.
using this technical document as our guide.
Nice.
We'll break down those sometimes complicated technical terms and help you understand what really happens during a cybersecurity incident.
Sounds good.
So think of it like this. We're ditching the magnifying glass and becoming digital detectives for this deep dive.
I like it. And every good detective will tell you the first 24 hours are crucial.
True they are.
But before we get into the thick of it,
Okay.
let's answer a fundamental question. Why even bother with effective incident handling?
Right. It's got to be more than just hitting Control-Alt-Delete and crossing our fingers, right?
Oh, way more. This is serious business.
Okay, so what's the big deal?
Imagine this. A company has a data breach, but they fumble the handling of it. They lose crucial evidence, can't prove what was actually stolen.
That's bad.
And bam, they're hit with huge fines for violating data protection rules. Their reputation is shot and customers start jumping ship.
Ouch, that's a nightmare scenario.
It is, but that's why we care about this stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. So effective incident handling helps to, minimize the damage, get things back to normal faster.
Love it.
And I guess having that evidence is key to hopefully stopping the same thing from happening again.
Precisely. It's all about learning and improving.
So taking a page from those crime scene investigation shows what's the first step in our digital detective work.
Evidence collection, my friend, and it's all about those digital fingerprints.
Ooh, digital fingerprints. I like it.
Right. So picture this. Instead of dusting for fingerprints and DNA, we're talking about combing through a digital crime scene.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Looking for things like malicious code, unusual file activity, telltale signs of an intrusion.
So what kind of things are we looking for specifically?
So we're talking about network traffic logs showing who accessed what and when.
Right.
System logs, which are like a computer's diary.
Okay.
And even snapshots of the computer's memory taken at the precise moment something suspicious happened.
Wait, hold on. Snapshots of computer memory. That sounds intense.
It's like hitting pause on a live security camera feed.
So it captures everything happening at that exact moment.
You got it. Passwords, private keys, even pieces of the bad guy's code. Incredibly valuable stuff.
Wow, that's some serious CSI cyber stuff.
You could say that.
Okay, so we've gathered all this digital evidence now. What?
Time to put on our forensic analysis hats.
I knew this is where it gets really interesting.
Absolutely. We analyze those logs, the traffic patterns, malware, samples, everything we've got.
Trying to figure out.
It's like solving a puzzle. Really piecing together what happened, how it happened, and most importantly, who might be responsible.
Okay, so we've got our story. We know the whodunit, or at least have a good idea now. What's next?
Time to stop the bad guys in their tracks, which brings us to containment.
Right, because we don't want things getting any worse.
Exactly. We've got to stop the bleeding, prevent further damage. Think of it like a digital quarantine.
Okay, digital quarantine. I like that.
We isolate affected systems from the network, shut down compromised accounts, maybe even set up stricter access controls like two-factor authentication.
So basically changing the locks and reinforcing the doors while we're still figuring out how the intruder got in.
You got it.
But this can't be a solo mission, right? What about communication during all of this chaos?
You're hitting on a critical point. Communication is absolutely key. I can't stress that enough.
Right, because panicking never helps.
Never helps at all.
So who needs to be kept in the loop and when?
First off, key people within the organization need to know what's going on.
Makes sense.
Then there's the legal team, super important for navigating any legal issues. Depending on how serious things are, we might even need to involve law enforcement.
Right.
Clear and timely communication keeps everyone on the same page and helps prevent misinformation from spiraling out of control.
Because in these situations, the last thing you need is a game of telephone gone wrong.
Exactly.
And, of course, while we're dealing with all of that, we need to be meticulous about documenting every single step.
Absolutely. This is non-negotiable.
It's more than just ticking boxes for compliance, though, right?
It's way more than that. Think of it like keeping a detailed journal of the entire incident.
Okay, I like that analogy.
We need to know what actions were taken when, and most importantly, why.
So that we can learn from our mistakes.
Exactly. And let's be real, often it's a legal requirement, too.
Makes sense. It's like they always say, if you didn't write it down, it didn't happen. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about the evidence chain of custody.
Ah, yes, the chain of custody. This is important.
It sounds kind of official.
It is. Imagine this, the evidence we've gathered is needed in court.
Oh, wow.
The chain of custody proves that the evidence hasn't been tampered with, that it's trustworthy and can hold up under scrutiny.
So it's like a VIP guest list, but for digital evidence.
Precisely, only authorized personnel can access it.
Gotcha. So it all comes back to protecting the integrity of the investigation.
Exactly.
We've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
If you had to pick one key takeaway about incident handling, what would it be?
I'd say this incident handling isn't just for big tech companies or cybersecurity experts.
Right.
It's relevant to anyone and everyone who uses technology, which is pretty much everyone these days.
It's about protecting ourselves, our data, and minimizing the damage when those uh-oh moments happen.
Precisely.
Because, let's face it, they will happen.
They do happen. That's the reality.
So true. Well, on that note,
Yes.
any final thoughts for our listeners?
Here's a little something to think about. If you experienced a security incident right now, what would your first move be? Who would you call and why?
That's a great question to consider.
It is something to ponder.
Well said. Thanks for joining me today.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
And to our listeners, until next time, stay safe out there in the digital world.
Thanks for hanging out with us on CyberPulse. Remember, cybersecurity doesn't have to be scary. It's all about staying sharp and a little bit savvy. Keep learning, stay curious, and don't let those cyber gremlins get you down. Catch you next time, and until then, stay safe, stay smart, and keep crushing it online.